Call Me By Your Name. Youth was on his side. Obscurity was on his side. And the story, told entirely through his eyes, was on his side. Armie Hammer was already a big name. But who was this kid? And why did we instantly believe that he was Elio? When you watch Timothée Chalamet in interviews, on red carpets, he's just being himself. You start to see it. He's not pretending to be interesting. He is interesting. Acting at its best is simply exaggerating your own essence. You use your own quirks, your rhythm, your natural instincts, and you let them bleed into the character. As an actor, you come in for a casting, you audition, you're handed a script. You don't know a lot about the character. You get maybe a couple of lines. They want to see if you fit the role that they're looking for. Sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for until they see it. When Luca met Timothée, he said he instantly knew that this was Elio, not because of fame or technique, but because of who he was, a young actor, still forming, still malleable. And Luca, a true actor's director, saw that. He said before,
every movie, it's a love story between the directors and his or her actors. And if there wasn't a very deep, very strong feeling of love that I had for them, to the degree of attraction, I would say, that could sublimate on screen, I don't think we would have achieved, at least myself, what I was looking forward to. I went for the people I wanted because I had seen their work or because I met them, meaning that I went for people that I loved or I was attracted by, for whom I had a desire. And desire means the curiosity to find a way to know each other.
That kind of attention, that love that you get from a director brings out a lot of honesty on screen. You can see in all his movies how he's able to bring out such honest performances out of his actors. So imagine you find your Elio and you give him the tools, the languages, the piano, the guitar, and you place him in northern Italy for a summer, surrounded by sun, stillness, and freedom, and you let him become part of that world. Luca found the perfect young canvas. Then, with all the small details, guided by a master's hand, he created the conditions for truth. And then, when he finally drops Oliver into that world, sparks naturally fly. It's the little tweaks needed by a genius director. Both actors, straight, both professional, but that doesn't matter. Acting is about being open, being fluid. Acting is fluid. You open up, you share, you trust. Luca plants the seeds, he builds the tension, creates a space where something real could happen, and it does. He has the real Elio there in front of camera. He's built him up from the inside out, mentally and physically. What their first rehearsals when they talk about it, the first kiss.
We didn't meet till we were in Italy. We met in Crema, the tiny town that we were filming in. That's where we met.
I was having a piano lesson for the film, and Armie, who I'd never met, bursts in. He goes, "Hey, I'm Armie. You're Timmy, right?" And that was our introduction.
Well, we hadn't had a really proper rehearsal yet. Armie tells this story better than I do, so I'll let him cut me off at a certain point. But, okay, let's do a rehearsal. We're gonna go into the backyard, join us. And so Armie and I were very enthusiastic. We had our scripts.
Get out to this sort of like patch of grass, and he goes, "Okay, we'll rehearse right here. Let's just pick a scene. Let's do scene 71." And he just kind of arbitrarily throws out a number. So we go, okay, great. We go to our page, and we get to the page on the script, and all it says is, Elio and Oliver roll around in the grass making out. And we kind of look at each other, we're like, all right,
here we go.
Around and start making out, and he goes, no, stop. What are you doing? And we go, I don't know, we're trying to make out. He goes, I want you two to make out like you want to make out with each other, like passionately. And we were like, good direction. Yes, that's exactly what we should be doing. Let's do it. So then we start making out, and then we're making out, and then we're making out, and then we're making out, and no one's saying stop, and all of a sudden we both kind of stop, and we look, and Luca had just walked away and just left us like there, rolling around in the grass.
The way they talk about it, you can feel it. The mix of nerves, freedom, and surrender. That's what Luca captures. That edge, that ease, the freedom, that nonchalant attitude. And the result? A performance that never feels performed. It's a recipe for success for any actor's performance. You can just watch Luca in interviews, the passion that he has for filmmaking, for actors.
That there is not such a thing as puppeting an actor to play a role. You need to be making a movie about those characters, but you also need to make a movie about those actors. The movie is also a documentary on its players. And I do believe in that. And if you really make sure that your performer are given the possibility of the breath of life and not of just the acting, you eventually get to a place of emotion that is what people in the audience will be connecting with. So we saw in Call Me By Your Name, for instance, that auroral moment in which Timothée Chalamet became a young man, not only Elio.
And that's why actors give him the best work. He creates an atmosphere where truth becomes possible, where actors stop performing and start existing. You can feel his obsession, his tenderness, his patience. He doesn't direct his actors, he watches them. He waits for the moment that they forget the camera is there, and that's when he captures them. It's so interesting when they talk about that first rehearsal, the first kiss. Luca isn't interested in the kiss itself, he's interested in the before and the after, not the in-between. He was there to see the start, and when he doesn't need to see anymore, he just walks off. It is a really funny story, but it also does show what he's always doing. He's always working on building a connection between his actors. He is a very clever director. He knows exactly what to do to bring out the best in his actors. The entire movie is one best scene. However, if I have to choose my favorite,
I'll get it.
something fascinating about the scene is that you don't even need to play it with the sound. Just watching Elio sit and listen, that in itself tells the story. You get enough just from the reaction, just more from his body language. It's a very unique disappointment because in a way this would be the first time that Elio has experienced this kind of heartbreak. So the processing of the bad news, the heartbreak, it doesn't kick in straight away, not until he's in front of the fireplace. It's so easy to have overdone this, not show the disappointment. He's doing the perfect amount, and it's a great performance.
Tapioca! Bye, sweetheart.
Turning the sound back on, however, Armie Hammer's voice as he speaks to Elio over the phone is incredibly moving.
The way your dad spoke to me, he made me feel like I was a part of the family, almost like a son-in-law.
His voice husky, slightly muffled, but you can hear his subtle breaths. It's very intimate and raw.
Elio.
The best actor is the one who isn't acting. And most actors would agree, to give your best performance, you have to disappear, whether it's method or otherwise. You have to stop trying. The more you're trying to act, the more you're getting in your own way. In the real world, it's your own personal tics, your anxieties that get in the way and pull you away from the performance. That's why actors love going to different locations, to be somewhere in a real place, so they can forget who they are and become someone else completely. Call Me By Your Name, for me, is Timothée Chalamet's perfect performance. And he may never do a performance as good as this. Not because he hasn't grown or got better as an actor over the years, but because he was so unfiltered, so open, and so naturally aligned with the world around him. Maybe that's what happens when you're still young and moldable, when you have the time and you have the right director to build the perfect environment for truth. I'm a huge admirer of his work, and I'll watch everything he does, but part of me wonders, will he ever have another unguarded performance like this?